Calculate the enthalpy change per mole of barium sulfate formed. That's what we're asked to do. Now, how do we get there? So it looks like we're looking for the heat of reaction or the enthalpy of reaction. So let's start by writing the equation for this reaction. We're mixing two solutions, and these solutions contain soluble ions. And we're told that one of the products is a precipitate of barium sulfate. So this looks like a classic double displacement precipitation reaction. So let's start with that. We have barium nitrate in solution mixed with sodium sulfate solution. Let's switch the cations to predict the products. One of the products we're given is the precipitate, barium sulfate, and the other one's going to be sodium nitrate. Sodium has a +1 charge, nitrate has a -1 charge, so we're going to have those in a 1-to-1 ratio. All nitrates are soluble, so we're going to put an AQ next to that. Next, let's write the complete ionic equation by separating all the soluble ionic compounds into their ions. Don't forget the charges. Let's get rid of the spectators. They're just watching the show. And our net ionic equation looks like the barium ion and the sulfate ion in their respective solutions. And once those solutions are mixed, those ions fall in love. And you know that's going to generate some heat, because we're told the temperature in that stands for went from 25 degrees Celsius to 28.1. That means we know this delta H is going to have a negative value, and this is going to be an exothermic process. Now we're told that this is a constant pressure calorimeter, and also the calorimeter absorbs only a negligible amount of heat. What that means is we can ignore that the physical calorimeter is not going to be part of the surroundings. In other words, we have the reaction, which we'll call the system, and we'll have the solution that surrounds it, and that'll be the surroundings. And since we're also told that this is a constant pressure calorimeter, we know that the delta H, the change in enthalpy, is going to equal the heat transferred. Which means we can use Q equals MC delta T. And what do you know? We're given delta T. We're given the specific heat of the solution. And we're not given mass directly, but we're given density, which has mass in it. And we're given volume, which will help us cancel out that volume component of density. Let's do it. Now keep in mind, we're looking for the enthalpy change of the reaction, but we're not going to measure or calculate that directly. Instead, we're given all these numbers are measurements of the surrounding, the solution, which is mostly water. But by getting the heat absorbed by the surroundings, we can get the heat released by the system. So let's calculate Q of the surroundings. It's equal to MC delta T of the surroundings. Let's get the mass of the surroundings. We're told that we're mixing 1 liter of each of these reactant solutions. So 1 liter plus 1 liter, we have 2 liters of the surroundings. Let's get that into milliliters so we can use the density that's given to us. We have 1,000 mils in 1 liter. And now we can use the density as our final conversion factor to cancel everything else out except for grams, which is the unit of mass we're looking for. All right, we're given specific heat of the solution is 4.18 joules per grams degrees Celsius. And the change in temperature is 28.1 degrees Celsius minus 25 degrees Celsius. That's 3.1 degrees Celsius. Note that that has 2 significant figures, and so does the density value given to us. So it looks like our final answer is going to have 2 significant figures. Punch, punch. And we get that the heat absorbed by the surrounding solution is 25,916 joules. Now we need to trim that to 2 significant figures, so we'll go with 26 26,000 joules. Now, that is the heat absorbed by the surroundings, which means that is the heat released by the system. So we can switch the perspective by slapping on a negative sign. And remember, since this is under constant pressure, Q is equal to delta H, which is equal to negative 26,000 joules or negative 26 kilojoules. Now, we are not done because the question is asking us for the enthalpy change per mole of barium sulfate formed. So we figured out the heat transferred from this reaction. Now, all we need to do is find out the number of moles of barium sulfate that was in this reaction. How do we do that? All right, we need to find moles of barium sulfate. Well, let's see what it gives us in the problem. We are given, all right, well, these numbers aren't bad. We're told that we have 1 liter of a 1 molar solution of each of the reactants. So that means we just have 1 mole of each of the reactants. And because these are 1 to 1 to 1 mole ratios, we also have 1 mole of barium sulfate. So the number we calculated, the negative 26 kilojoules, is our final answer because that is also negative 26 kilojoules per mole of barium sulfate is the change in enthalpy.